All right, so we have the breakdown of every QB in the UFL, and this is results from the dispersal draft. So if you head over to UFL News Hub and click on teams, and then you click on the team that you like, we have a full roster breakdown. We basically have all the players on every roster on the website, and it's all broken down. We have a list of an article that has the full list, and then you can even look by team. So what we did was we kind of went back and broke down all the quarterback that are listed on this list. So the UFL had their big kind of merging of everything. Again, the main draft is going to take place January 15th. The final draft, and then rosters will be around over 70 players, and then they'll go into training camp. So they basically had this 20-round draft over the week, basically on Friday, released the numbers out today. And what you can see from this is we have different teams dynamics. So you got various college and unique skills and all this other stuff. But Memphis Showboats have 4 quarterbacks on their list, and the DC Defenders only has 1. Some notable names: we got Benkert of the Brahmas, though there's talk about him not playing in the XFL or UFL. But it would be interesting to see him on a team with AJ Smith. Lindsey Scott as a player that to watch. We have articles about him as well. And of course, the status of Jordan Ta'amu, Eric Dungey, Brandon Silvers, just to name a few. We don't know what's going on with them. So there's 20 guys in there. Again, in the NFL, AJ McCarron, Ben DiNucci, Alex Magoo, all remain active. They will probably sign futures contracts. We know Ben DiNucci has already. Showboats have 4 quarterbacks, including Case Cookus from the Stars. And then we've talked about some of these other guys. So here are the other quarterbacks. Is Holton Ehlers. He's from East Carolina. This is the Arlington Renegades quarterback. Had some nice stats there. Lindsey Scott, we talked about, from Incarnate Word. He's from Louisiana. Attended several colleges, including LSU, East Mississippi, Missouri, Nichols, and finally Incarnate Word. In his final college season, he achieved 4,686 passing yards, 60 touchdowns, and a remarkable 70.9 completion rate over 14 games. That's insane. And of course, they have Luis Perez, should be the starting guy because he won the championship last. Clearly, Birmingham Stallions, they got Adrian Martinez. He's a background Kansas State, and of course, Jamar Smith. He's back. He got hurt last year. Alex Magoo took over, but Jamar Smith led them to their first championship. So I didn't know about this. He was drafted by the San Diego Padres. DC Defenders, DeAndre Francois moves from the Orlando Guardians to the DC Defenders, which makes you think maybe Jordan Ta'amu might not be coming back. We'll have to kind of see where that goes. But yeah, he played with the Guardians last year, and he also played fan control football. Favorite of mine. But the DC Defenders only have 1 quarterback, though De'Aaron King just posted on social media on his Instagram account that he will be back in the UFL. So could he be the starting quarterback? I think this is a great opportunity for players to play in a league like the UFL and then do coaching on the side. I think that would be fantastic. And I'm hopeful that that's how things turn out. Houston Roughnecks, they don't have Brandon Silvers. We don't know even about Cole McDonald. He was let go. They have Jarrett Guantanamo from Washington State, New Jersey guy. Then they Kenji Bahar, who from Baltimore, Maryland. Yeah, give it up for Maryland. He attended Monmouth. He played with the USFL's Houston Gamblers in 2023, finishing the season with 1,709 passing yards and 8 touchdowns. Again, Houston Roughnecks but remember, they're all not the Houston Roughnecks from last year with Wade Phillips and AJ Smith leading the way. But they are a completely different team this go round. So we'll see how that turns out. Memphis Showboats loaded up on quarterbacks. Case Cookus is now with the Memphis Showboats. I think that was a good move on him. He had 2,294 passing yards, 15 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions last year. But in 2022, he led them, the Philadelphia Stars, to the USFL championship game where they lost the Birmingham Stallions. So he is a good pickup from Northern Arizona. Ryan Willis, Virginia Tech, go Hokies. He jumped around to a couple schools. Remember, he was the initial big name quarterback for the St. Louis Battlehawks, and then they kind of got rid of. He wanted to leave because they got a guy named AJ McCarron. Kind of worked out for him. We didn't even really see Ryan Willis hit the field. I don't even think he did last year. In for the Memphis Showboat. Then Guy Myers from Charleston, West Virginia, and then Cole Kelly from Southeast Louisiana. as well to rounding out their 4 quarterbacks. So we'll see. Clearly, I don't think they're going to keep them all, but they're going in. This is their quarterbacks. I think Case Cookus is the guy to lead them, with Ryan Willis as maybe Cole Kelly maybe as the backup. We'll have to kind of see there. Michigan Panthers, Danny Outling from LSU, quarterback. He had a good college career. Davis Cheek from Elon. He was also a guy that's his name has been out there as for, and Brian Lewerke from Michigan State as well. So they have a pretty interesting Michigan Panthers quarterbacks here. And I actually have my Carson Strong card is somewhere around here from my so Carson Strong. I have his card from Upper Deck, and Alex Magoo. So they're not anywhere near there. And I think a lot of guys might have kind of been done with it. Like they played 1 year, wanted to see where it goes. The kind of instability that both leagues have kind of shown this year might have turned some players off. I think if the league can sustain itself, we talked about this is the critical year. And if things go wrong, then that's going to be it. So this is a critical year. And I think part of the maybe be that players might have just been like, it's not really worth it. San Antonio Brahmas, Kurt Benkert from Virginia, a big, highly touted guy, came in right off the street last year, but then got hurt. Supposedly he is saying he's not interested. And again, guys, they're drafting you. They want your rights in case you change your mind. But, if you don't show up, then they move on. So I hope he does come back. I would love to see him in A.J. Smith's offense, but we'll have to kind of see how that goes. And Matthew McKay, another Elon graduate, is also on there, and Jack Cohn, straight from Notre Dame, and of course a boy from Long Island like myself. He is also on the San Antonio Brahmas, and he was on the team last year and played some games and got some NFL looks as well. St. Louis Battlehawks, Manny Wilkins, Arizona State. He was on the team last year, so was Nick Tiano from UT Chattanooga. Those two guys are back, but again, no AJ McCarron. I don't think he will return. I think they should. Well, maybe they won't. I mean, if it depends on what happens this week after all of these cuts. I think, somebody like the DC Defenders are just trying to see who is going to be available in this January 15th draft. But those are the breakdowns of the quarterbacks in the UFL and from the dispersal draft. This is not going to be the final thing. I think if you even looked at last year with the XFL, a lot of those guys that we thought were going to be starting didn't even play. And, so this is just something to keep an eye on. And this is why I'm like, don't do any fantasy drafts right now, because this is all we've seen a couple players say, hey, I don't want to play in this league. I don't know why you drafted me. So we'll just have to kind of find out. But that is the breakdown. What do you think of the quarterbacks so far? Do you think they've got some players in there? Are you thinking about guys for your fantasy football team or doing DFS? Let us know in the comments.